Ah, it's awesome.
Kobe Bryant didn't hate easily, but when he did, you knew it. From teammates he froze out to rivals he humiliated, the Black Mamba had zero tolerance for laziness or disrespect. These are the 6 players Kobe Bryant openly clashed with. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 1, Karl Malone. There's trash talk, there's rivalry, and then there's crossing a line so deep, it ends a brotherhood for good. Kobe Bryant once called Karl Malone a big brother. They were teammates on a mission, 2 legends chasing a ring with the 2004 Lakers. But after the season ended, so did the friendship. Not over basketball, but over something way more personal. Here's what really happened. It was November 2004. During a Lakers game against the Milwaukee Bucks, Karl Malone was sidelined with a knee injury and showed up in street clothes. Vanessa Bryant, courtside as usual, was there to cheer on her husband. She and Kobe had only been married for a few years. She was in her early 20s and Malone was 41 at the time. At one point during the game, Vanessa reportedly approached Malone to ask if he wanted to bring their kids to sit with her and the family. That's when things got weird. According to Vanessa, Malone leaned in and said, "I'm hunting little Mexican girls." She was shocked. She later told Kobe about it immediately. Kobe confronted Malone privately at first and demanded an explanation. When the story hit the press, Malone claimed it was a joke. He said there was no bad intent. But Kobe didn't buy that for a second. He didn't laugh it off. He never laughed things like that off.
Reporters come up to me and ask me on camera and off camera, what was the personal feud that took place between myself.
He stayed calm in public. He laid out the facts. But you could feel it. He was disgusted. And that's when it became clear this wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was personal. When the media pushed harder, Kobe shut it down with one line that said everything without saying too much.
It was resolved in a personal way, and that's that.
That was code. Kobe never threw teammates under the bus, but he also never let something like this slide. Malone denied any bad intentions, saying he was just joking around, but Kobe didn't buy it. He didn't forgive, and he definitely didn't forget. When asked point blank if Karl Malone hit on his wife, Kobe didn't dodge the question. He didn't confirm it either. What he did say was even colder.
If you were the first to touch on the issue publicly.
No, I didn't touch on it at all, to begin with.
That was the final nail. After that, there were no more phone calls, no locker room reunions, no jersey tributes, just silence. The kind of silence Kobe saved for people he was done with permanently. So yeah, Kobe respected Malone's game. But after 2004, he couldn't stand the man. And in a league full of egos, elbows, and enemies, this one hit way too close to home. But Karl Malone wasn't the only teammate who crossed the line. This next player didn't say the wrong thing, he just was the wrong fit. And Kobe knew it from the start. Let's talk about Kobe's feud with Dwight Howard. Kobe Bryant had a rule. If you played with him, you had to want it as bad as he did. And Dwight Howard? He just didn't. When the Lakers brought Dwight to LA in 2012, they thought they were building a super team. Kobe, Steve Nash, Dwight, and Pau Gasol. It looked good on paper. But behind the scenes, the chemistry was off from day one. From the start, Dwight's playful energy rubbed Kobe the wrong way. He'd joke around during team meetings, crack smiles, and practice things Kobe interpreted as softness. To Kobe, it wasn't just immaturity, it was disrespectful to the grind. Kobe thrived on confrontation. He believed pressure built champions. Dwight, on the other hand, didn't. That was the problem.
I have a way that I think winning should be done.
Kobe was describing the exact tension that had been brewing all season. To him, winning meant pushing people past their comfort zone. And if they couldn't handle that, they were in the way. On the court, the body language said it all. Dwight wanted more touches, more trust. But Kobe didn't see the hunger, so he didn't feed him the ball. When reporters asked about it, Dwight complained that Kobe froze him out, but Kobe didn't flinch.
I just think philosophically, that relationship was never going to work.
That word, philosophically, meant everything. Kobe wasn't just criticizing Dwight's game, he was saying their mentalities didn't match. Kobe wanted a war partner, Dwight wanted a spotlight, and it was doomed from the start. Even the locker room felt it. One infamous report claimed Kobe confronted Dwight in Memphis. calling him out for goofing around too much. Howard didn't respond well, and the tension never went away. By the end of the season, Dwight walked, and when they met again in 2014, it got physical. Their clashing approaches exploded in front of cameras during a 2014 game against the Rockets. After a hard foul, Kobe barked, "Try me," at Dwight, calling him soft while staring him down. The two nearly came to blows mid-game. That moment said it all. The Mamba and Superman were never meant to fly together. Howard would later admit he wasn't ready for Kobe's intensity. He respected it, but back then, he couldn't handle it. And Kobe? He never apologized for it. He just kept winning. If Kobe clashed with Dwight because of mindset, then what happened with Shaq was a full-blown power struggle, a battle of egos that broke up a dynasty. Shaquille O'Neal. They won 3 championships together. They dominated the early 2000s like no duo since Jordan and Pippen. But off the court, they couldn't stand each other. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal weren't just teammates. They were a ticking time bomb. And the explosion came sooner than anyone expected. Phil Jackson even noted in his book The Last Season that managing their egos was like coaching 2 opposing armies. In practice, Shaq would joke and coast. Kobe would grind and scowl. That tension didn't just live in games, it lived in every locker room drill. It all started very early when Kobe came in as a teenager with a killer instinct. Shaq was already a star, bigger than life, both literally and in the media. But Kobe didn't care about size. He cared about work. And he felt Shaq didn't take the game seriously enough.
Were you guys friends?
No.
Just that. One word with no hesitation. That silence said everything. When asked why they couldn't coexist, Kobe didn't talk about ego or fame. He talked about obsession.
You wanted to do it a different way.
That was the heart of the feud. Kobe was 24/7 early mornings, late nights, film study, constant drills. Shaq believed in dominating the game his way, with strength, charisma, and talent. For a while it worked. They steamrolled through the league. But behind the scenes, Kobe was boiling. He resented the jokes, the conditioning issues, the passive-aggressive comments in interviews. Shaq, meanwhile, mocked Kobe's intensity and called him selfish in the press. They were both alpha, both proud, both convinced they were the key to winning. And then came the breaking point. Kobe told Phil Jackson he wouldn't stay silent if Shaq kept talking. Shaq wanted a max extension. The front office had to choose. They chose Kobe. Shaq was traded to Miami, and the dynasty was over.
So there was constant challenge.
Even years later, Kobe admitted it. Every practice felt like a battle, every spotlight, a contest. And while the media loved to stir the pot, the tension was real. When they reunited on Christmas Day in 2004, it was icy. Shaq threw shade and Kobe dropped 42. But with time came something else: respect. By 2009, they laughed together on the All-Star stage, sharing MVP honors. Shaq even dropped a diss rap in fun. When Kobe dropped 60 in his final game, Shaq was courtside, smiling with respect, honoring the Mamba, not mocking him. So no, they weren't friends, not in the traditional sense. But rivals, brothers in battle, the fire that pushed each other to greatness? Absolutely. And in Kobe's world, that was the highest form of respect you could earn. But not every feud was about superstar drama. Sometimes it was about standards. And to Kobe, this next NBA player didn't even belong on the same court. This player is no other than Smush Parker. There are rivals Kobe Bryant didn't like, and then there's Smush Parker, the one he didn't even acknowledge. Smush started every game alongside Kobe from 2005 to 2007. But to Kobe, he was invisible, literally. Kobe didn't speak to him, didn't pass to him unless absolutely necessary. And when Parker tried to make small talk about football in practice, Kobe cut him off with one line: "You need more accolades before you can talk to me." That was the tone from day one. Parker, a gritty, undrafted guard, wanted respect. Kobe? He wanted a championship. And he didn't believe Smush had earned a spot, let alone his attention. After they left the Lakers, the feud got worse public. Kobe said this about Smush: "Smush Parker was the worst. He shouldn't have been in the NBA." This was what Kobe had to say when asked about it.
Say what I had to say. What's he gonna do? Yeah, Kobe's right.
No apology or walk back. just ice-cold Mamba energy. To make matters worse, when a 37-minute radio segment gave Parker a chance to clap back, Kobe barely blinked.
I'm sure he did. I mean, I gave him his little 30 minutes of fame again, man. It's all good.
It wasn't just disrespect, it was a total dismissal. But Smush didn't stay quiet. He said Kobe treated him and others like nobodies. Said he isolated himself, traveled with security, and even ate dinner alone with 12 apples and a fork. That's how distant things had gotten. And near the end of their time together, Parker admitted something wild: he stopped passing to Kobe on purpose. Just to prove a point, just to hit back. So why did it get so toxic? Because Kobe demanded excellence, and if you weren't up to standard, he didn't want you near him. Smush didn't just fall short, he rubbed Kobe the wrong way every single day. And unlike with Shaq or Dwight, there was no reconciliation, no peace talk, no locker room laughter years later, just silent. Kobe never saw Smush as a real teammate. And Smush? He spent years trying to explain what it was like to play next to someone who made it clear, you were not welcome. Not then, not ever. Now imagine going from someone Kobe barely acknowledged to someone who got right in his face and tried to rattle him. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. This player was Matt Barnes. Let's be clear, Kobe Bryant didn't really hate Matt Barnes. This wasn't a feud like Shaq, Dwight, or Smush Parker. But there was tension nonetheless. And one unforgettable moment that turned into a defining image of who Kobe was. Back in 2010, Matt Barnes was known for getting under people's skin. He was physical, relentless, and not afraid to stir the pot. During a heated Lakers Magic game, Barnes tried everything to take Kobe out of his rhythm. Hard fouls, trash talk, elbows, and then the fake pass. Barnes cocked the ball right in front of Kobe's face, and Kobe didn't flinch, not even a blink. When asked about it in an interview, this is what he had to say.
It's funny.
That's all he said, funny. No anger or no retaliation. Just cold indifference, the kind that gets inside your head. It wasn't just a no-look moment, it was a power play. Kobe knew Barnes was trying to bait him. He just wouldn't give him the satisfaction. That reaction? Pure Mamba. The shrug, the smirk, it said more than words ever could. You're not on my level. And here's the wild part, Kobe didn't hold a grudge. In fact, just a year later, he recruited Barnes to the Lakers. That's right, the same guy who tried to punk him became his teammate. Why? Because Kobe respected fire. He didn't need you to like him. He needed you to show up ready for war, and Barnes did. Still, the moment stuck. To this day, fans remember Barnes not for his years in the league, but for the 1 second Kobe stared him down and didn't move. No feud or friendship, just that split second of unshakable confidence. And when Kobe looked back on it, he barely acknowledged it. No drama or any need for revenge, but just that look. The one that said, I'm here to win, you're here to get attention. And that's what separated Kobe from almost everyone else. You couldn't rattle him. You couldn't scare him. And even if you came swinging, he'd stand there, stone-faced, while the whole world watched. And finally, there's the one guy who caught Kobe's fire before the games even started. A rising shooter, a quiet offense, and Kobe still made sure he felt the heat. JJ Redick is the last player on this list. Kobe Bryant didn't need a full season to decide how he felt about someone. Sometimes, all it took was one practice. That's exactly what happened with JJ Redick during Team USA training camp. It was 2008, and the best of the best were gearing up for Olympic gold. But before the first game even tipped off, Kobe had already zeroed in on someone he didn't like. Not because Redick trash-talked or because he played dirty, but because, according to Carmelo Anthony, Redick didn't show up to practice with the same intensity as everyone else.
JJ Redick and Cole in Team USA. And I remember Cole couldn't stand JJ Redick.
That was enough. Kobe took it personally. And when Kobe took something personally, he didn't yell. He didn't pout. He made you feel it.
Cole took it very, very personal.
Every possession was a message. No passes, no eye contact, no help defense. Just cold silence and surgical isolation. Kobe had one rule. If you weren't serious, you didn't belong on the floor with him, even if it was just a scrimmage, even if it was just training camp. To Kobe, Olympic practice wasn't light work, it was war. And JJ Redick, fresh into the league and not matching that energy, became the target. That moment didn't spark a long feud. Redick himself has never spoken badly about Kobe. But for one brutal afternoon, Kobe Bryant made him an example. He didn't shout or fight him, at least not physically, but he just froze him out and made the whole gym feel it. And that's who Kobe was. Whether it was the NBA Finals or a Team USA warm-up, he brought the same fire. And if you didn't bring yours, you got burned. Which of these feuds do you remember very clearly? And if there's a time Kobe got into any other player that we missed, let us know in the comments. Be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more NBA stories just like this.